Welcome to the Energy Hour. The Energy Hour is brought to you by Quality Home Improvement, Southern California's premier residential and commercial contractor, making homes and businesses energy efficient, one building at a time.
What's going on, California? This is the Energy Hour podcast. My name is Christopher Moss, and I'm here in studio today with Rob. Hey, Rob.
How you doing, guy?
What's going on, Shaun?
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
Hey, what is it, TGIF? Happy Friday?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Holy jeez, this is the end of April.
Every day should be a
What
Friday.
the heck?
It felt like 2 weeks to get to this Friday, though.
2 weeks to get to Friday. Exactly, man. So here we are. It's the 30th of April. A lot of stuff to talk about. You know, this COVID stuff has been out for a while. Shaun's not happy with me. I got my shot. But we'll talk about that later. We got a lot of good things to talk about. Really, it's a lot of serious information I think you guys need to know about. And there's a lot of deception. Am I right, Rob?
Yeah.
It's sad.
We've been seeing a lot more of it lately, which,
Yeah.
especially in our solar industry, is terrible because it really takes down our industry.
Yeah. So we got a new president in the House.
Yeah.
He's doing some things renewable-wise, 50%.
He wants to cut greenhouse gas carbon footprints by 50%, which could be the biggest.
That's powerful.
Well, because it could create the biggest job surge. And where do we want a job surge?
Oh, in America, brother. Let's get it done,
in America,
right?
and in the green industry.
Yeah.
It's like when cassettes went away, right? 8-tracks went away,
Right.
cassettes came in, LPs went away, vinyl went away.
Yeah, you mean by the time you could afford them, they went away?
Yeah, no, exactly. But at some point, you've got to be always trending forward.
Yeah.
And at this point, as we know, I mean, what percentage of our clients save with solar? Every single person we do.
Every person.
So, I mean, and we select people, we qualify them right, but I mean, it's time America starts switching to green, and hopefully his plan puts a lot of money in and hopefully keeps the tax incentives going.
Well, you know, I think it would be smart if United States of America kept that ITC at 30%. I mean, think about it. They can either use it or not, right?
Right.
So if it's either a benefit or a non-benefit.
Right.
Depends on the individual.
Right.
And they should make really a crazy incentive on top of that for building owners, you know?
Absolutely.
They have a nice Macker's one in place already.
That one's beautiful.
But, I mean, at 34% is pretty attractive, right?
Yeah, and I hope that we just don't maintain the 20% ITC for everything else, you know? I hope we see that go back up to 30.
Why not go to 50?
Or that states, well,
it's at least 26% until, 2023?
Yeah, but you know,
there are rumors it's going to go back up to 30. I hope it does, but
that'd be cool, man.
But even if I think most likely it's going to stick at 26%, and people should be jumping on.
Do you guys remember? I know Shaun does. I'm sure you do too, Rob. In the beginning, they had this incentive, right? It was $4.50.
Right.
Oh my God, this guy's selling solar less than $4.50 a watt right now.
Yeah.
What were we selling it for? Like $8 or $12?
Yeah, it was
It was
basically
huge.
well, at least twice as much as what the rebate was for.
Oh
right?
yeah. So we had a $4.50 incentive to do solar, and that was a rebate that went back to the company or the customer. Pretty cool, right?
Very cool.
And then they had a 15% state tax credit. I mean, I almost like we were in like solar heaven. Yeah, I don't know about you, man.
And only like 4 forms.
Yeah, the R1 through 5.
That's the true heaven of it right there, right?
And then they had that ITC on top of it. So they had 45%, reduction on taxes. And then they almost gave the solar away to do it. Yeah. You know, it was harder to sell it back then than it is today. Think about
and then
it.
people were just getting like one or 2K systems too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Nobody understood there was going to be this auditing going on because of scammers coming in and circumventing.
Well, these big contractors and these finance companies raped the industry. Sorry to say.
Oh, sadly.
But, there's people in prison for that now. So it is what it is.
I hope so.
So, and now we're at a zero incentive. We have zero incentive to do it. Edison, of course, they plagiarized that and used it towards their own infrastructure. Right. Thanks, Edison. We appreciate that.
Well, they were supposed to do that.
Well, we know the wolf is going to get into the sheep house soon, right? I mean, sure they did.
They're mandated to. Because
yeah. They were definitely mandated to. But at the end of the day, man, it's nothing now. It's almost nothing.
Right. And if I can, the thing that always still gets me about Edison is that if I want to, as an Edison customer, buy clean energy, I have the option, but I have to pay more. Or I can just do the solar myself and pay less.
That's what's
Seriously,
so,
I can actually sign up and click a little box that says I'll buy clean energy, and it's going to cost me how much
that's
more
what's
per
so good about
kilowatt.
service.
Yeah.
That's a service.
Yeah.
So what am I doing? I'm paying extra for their utility farm instead of putting it on my roof.
And they took
That
your
just drives me crazy, and I want people to understand you're paying for their farm instead of less for your own.
and they took your money to do it.
Yeah. Oh, do you want dirty or clean energy?
Well,
hold on. Which one did you want?
Oh man, right?
I'm sorry.
Remember, and they took your money as long as you were paying that bill.
Yeah.
No matter what, whether you were for it or against it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Not cool, right?
No, especially when every consumer mostly has the ability to have clean energy for less money.
Well, they also have the ability to go to the CPUC and argue against some of these rate increases, things of that nature. So
True.
people sit
Everybody's
on the
got
fence.
a lobbyist though. Right?
Yeah, and the problem is with lobbying is they're always going to get their rate increases. So the power of the people, it lies in your hands.
And you don't see a million people showing up
No.
when it says, "Hey man, does anybody want to speak to the microphone for 3 minutes?" They're like, "Shut out. They're done."
And the thing is this, the worst case scenario for most people is you're going to own your own power for the same you're renting it for. But in most cases, you're going to own it for less.
There's a lot of them doing that now.
Can you go back and just like when you're listening to this podcast, hit that little rewind button 15 seconds and listen to that again?
Yeah.
Because for the most part, the worst case scenario is you're going to own it for the same, but you're most likely going to save and still own it. Why do people still stick with the utility? And I'll tell you why. There's also idiots like we're about to talk about that are out there.
Oh, this guy's a joke, man.
That are they're putting out a lot of misleading information, which hurts the industry, and then people lose their confidence. And it's so important you go with a credible company that knows what they're doing and have been doing it for decades.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to honesty, integrity, and, just being a good person, man. And, if you're in for the commission, get out of the business, man. Go sell insurance or something. Go sell real estate. Go sell all this other junk. Solar is not that kind of business that we want to take advantage of when it comes to the consumer base.
Well, it's very tangible, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Extremely tangible. Like
Totally.
how much your house value goes up is market driven. It's actually very subjective. There's a lot of things to it.
Yep.
If we're putting a system on your roof that's supposed to save and it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's pretty black and white.
Pretty black and white, right.
And so it's very tangible, and you could judge it really clearly. And that's what's important. So when I see these people trying to kind of skew the information that's in the market, it upsets me.
So let's talk really quickly about this company that's, I don't
know if you're naming names. I'm not naming names, but I'm just telling you, if you're on YouTube and you're getting slammed with some of these power.
Why don't you do a rhymes with?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, there you go.
I could do a rhymes with.
Rhymes with.
But I have like a whole rant on this. I'm upset because I saw this last night.
Yeah, it's not fair, man.
No, and what I don't like is I don't like misleading information because it ends up at the end of the day being predatorial. The reason we have at this company 5-star ratings all over the place is we sell systems that do exactly what we say they're going to do. If you're not going to save money,
imagine that.
I'm not going to sell it to you unless you're like, I don't care. I just want to be green. But we're going to be clear. We have great ratings because it does what or more than what we said it was going to do.
Hello.
And then we got these knuckleheads out there, and one of them, if you don't mind me saying, Chris,
I like that term,
looks like a guy that came out of a 1973 porn movie. I'm sorry, slicked hair, back, mustaches, and if anybody's out there, I don't need to name the company. Know who I'm talking about?
Was he talking like that?
Yeah, but no
Stupid.
money out of pocket, up to $15,000 back from the government. I'll give you $2,500 to switch, and you can sell your excess power back to the grid. Can we take each one of those and just tell them what the truth is on each one?
Let's start with the first one.
All right, so no money out of pocket. Guess what, guys? Typically there isn't.
Yeah, you don't have to pay anything out of pocket, but you're going to pay somebody unless you have cash.
No, exactly. And if
somebody's going to get paid.
If not, if you're going to do a cash deal, which a lot of times ends up being obviously the best if you look at it over time, but there are plenty of loans, and we've got probably 10 of our own that nothing has to come out of your pocket. You simply start paying a loan instead of your utility, right?
Yeah.
And if it's cheaper when you're getting all your energy, perfect. So that one we kind of wipe right out because it's just like everybody does that.
That's
if you
right.
got the right finance.
It's universal.
Now I get really pissed off.
What's the next one?
Up to $15,000 back to your government. Well, first of all, that number is what I call a rectal pull.
What?
You know what a rectal pull is? I'm just pulling a number out of my ass. I'm sorry. Can I say that? Because the bottom line is with the IRS and the ITC investment tax credit, all right? It's based on your tax liability. If you haven't paid enough in, you ain't going to get any out. Okay?
Makes sense.
But it could be a couple thousand. For somebody who makes a lot of money and has 100 panels on the roof, it could be 25,000. But you have to pay in and have the liability to get it back. But the way they're talking about it on this particular commercial, let me tell you something. If you're on YouTube and you found it, you know the guys I'm talking about. That's not right to be that misleading because, and then I see these guys selling someone on D-Care that are low income. They don't pay enough into their taxes, and there's no way they are going to ever
They can't
have
match
an ITC.
it. No way. Exactly. $15,000?
No, and I know somebody that got $23,000 back, but they had huge tax liability
and a humongous system too.
Yeah, exactly. So so it made sense. But someone sitting there on D-Care, that first of all, maybe they shouldn't have sold them because they're on D-Care.
You know what I call those guys? Solar thugs.
They are. They're predators. That's what they are. They're just taking
solar thugs.
They're trying to make a sale.
And by the way,
commission.
this guy needs to see a doctor to fix that face, man.
I was just thinking about the D-Care issue, and I thought the poor D-Care customer that gets sold, let's say the average system size, right?
Right.
My bill,
let's say 5 to 8.
Yeah, my bill's $69 a month.
Okay,
Hook me up.
Now, for some reason, if they're on a big system like that and they're on D-Care, that's amazing to begin with. However, if they get sold
they're liars.
System,
that's what's happened. They lied.
If they get sold a system that's kind of above and beyond their means collectively, without any justification, let's say, for example, and now they have this big incentive that they really can't utilize, it just sits there.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're all, and you know what? They think about, well, the government's going to send me a check.
No, and that's so there's two things
so
on
they
that.
go to their mailbox.
Yeah, waiting. No, but they're being sold on.
I've heard that in the house, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're being sold on, well, that check's coming, or they're being sold on something else we'll talk about, which is selling the energy back. But Shaun brought up a good point, like, and you did too, like talking about a low bill. These guys are talking about a minimum of a $75 bill. I can tell you right now, from the Teslas and the SunPowers and the everything in the world, most people don't even start to think you're relevant until you're hitting 100 and something, 120, 150.
Even for a cheesy lease.
Exactly, because the goal is to help you save money, and the 75 is ridiculous. So
that is ridiculous.
No, it is. And then the next one, they're going to give you, Shaun, they're going to give you $2,500 to switch.
That's fantastic.
Isn't it fantastic? Guess what everyone does in the industry to do that? They mark up their quotes, $2,500, to give you your own money back.
Yeah, that's called bait and switch, man.
It's called bullshit.
That's fraud.
That's fraud, isn't it?
Everybody that does that to a customer needs to be put to the front of the room and put up on a rack and beat mercifully.
Look at it. I mean, I could tell you I can give you $10,000 back. I'm adding it into your loan. It's just stupid. So you know what? Deal with people that are honest and straight up forward.
That reminds me of another finance program, but I won't say their name. But anyways. Yeah.
No, and it reminds me of another company that says they're giving back to the veterans. And give you a $500 to $1,000.
Hang on, I think I know who they are.
Wait a minute, remember?
Hoorah! Was that them?
Rhymes with. Hold on, I gotta do.
Hoorah!
Hoorah! No, and what did they do? And what did they tell all their salespeople? Well, you know, if you're going to give them that veteran discount of $500 to $1,000, make sure you mark it up first.
And make sure you're wearing that camouflage shirt when you walk into the house.
It's just
what a joke, man. Seriously?
Any discount.
Grow the flip up.
Mostly big discounts, like $2,500 they're adding into the system.
Hey, and Shaun, you want $50,000? I'll give you $50,000. We have to finance that, though.
Right.
I'm going to at least be honest with you.
Your solar system's 20.
Right.
It's going to cost you 70.
Just spell my name right.
No, and then hold on. Guess what, Chris? On top of all that, hold on, let's go down the list.
You mean there's
hold
more?
on, no money out of pocket, $15,000 back from the government. You only need to have a $75 bill a month, $2,500 in cash, and give them back to you, and you can sell your excess energy back to your utility. Hey guys, how much do they buy it back for if they do?
Yeah,
4 cents.
it's 4 cents. It's wholesale.
So like 3-4 times less than I'm paying for it. So I'm at a loss.
So if you give them like 100 kilowatt hours a month at 4 cents, it's nothing, dude. It's $4. So
right? No, but technically, you're right.
Yeah.
And technically, though, I sold it back and I got $4.
wow.
So legally, they can say that,
Yeah, unfortunately.
but ethically, they shouldn't be. And this is what we're trying to do in our business is kind of get people to realize what's going on. Because what I just saw in that ad was a WTF, FFS, OMG,
yeah.
LOL, all of them together.
LMAO,
Yeah, I'm just like, what is going on? And we have a viable industry that, as you know, saves people money every day. And then we got people like this, crackpots, or the guys that just go, do you have a meter on the side of your house?
you could start saving.
Well, wait a minute,
today.
honey. I do. Yeah, every house has a meter. That doesn't mean you're going to save. Have somebody audit your home and tell you if you're going to save or not.
You know, it's pretty simple, right? We've done it a million times.
Yeah.
All you got to do is go to a customer, get Edison's free, man. Call them up on that toll-free number on your electric
We
bill.
help you do it.
We're going to write it down. We're going to show you. We're not going to guess. I knew a company, and Shaun's probably been there as well. I knew a company that told all their sales reps, wherever you go, sell a 12-panel deal and no more or no less.
Yeah.
It was a 3K, and they were using some nasty panel from like Bangladesh.
Right.
And they were just, and it was the Hispanic community, hint, hint. These guys were pulling the wool over their eyes, lying through their teeth. What is it with these cultures that screw their own people? I don't get it.
So I hate to tell you, but when I got into solar years ago, which was Solar City before Tesla, and as I told you, I'll never hate them because I met my wife there.
No, that's a great thing.
Who is Hispanic.
But I can hate them.
Yeah. Well, no, what I hated was, so if you were a Hispanic salesperson, you easily had twice the leads of everyone else. But I watched them time and time again sell people that never should have had a system.
Yeah.
I watched them tell them, oh, dude, you have to have this. I'm telling you culture to culture what you need to have. And the problem was they were on D-Care, you know, they had a $70 bill a month. And so when I would take my wife into some of these consultations because she could be my translator, and we sold the people that should have been sold. They were going to actually save money. And hey, you know, some of them, they had 9 people in the house. Their bill was really big. And even on D-Care, we were saving them money. Okay. But that's still somewhat of a rarity. But then you saw these people out there with a $70 bill being sold something that in 2 years was going to be a $150 bill. And they did it because hombre to hombre, they went out and they told them this. And this happens in a lot of different cultures. And it's really sad because at the end of the day, people lie, numbers don't. And we rely on our numbers. And we'll show you those numbers and we'll tell you if you should switch. Because if you shouldn't, we don't want your business because we're just going to get a bad review one day too, right?
You know, what I appreciate about you guys the most, and I do the same thing, if it's not going to save you money, I'm going to tell you.
Right up front.
I'm going to say, listen, man, you know, maybe you need to do a couple other things in your house. We have this really
right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We have this really cool thing I like to do. It's called reduce before you produce.
Absolutely.
We're just not a solar company, right?
Right.
We deal in roofing, we deal in insulation, we deal in whole house attic in the, you know, ventilation, you know, laminate flooring, windows, live paint. We do it all. And the reason that we do that, hint, hint, Quality Home Improvement, Inc.
Right.
Home. We do the entire house because we got in this business because first and foremost, we love the planet.
Yeah.
We all got to live here.
Yeah.
This is our home, right?
Right.
So we got to do what it was. I went from police officer. I went from gun to son. Figure that out.
There
right?
you go.
That's
I like that.
That's so stupid. Some of my buddies today are still looking at me kind of perplexing, going, well, why'd you do that? Well, it's because I became passionate about the planet and I wanted to do something about it.
Right.
I wanted to help people save money at the same time.
Yeah.
So that became very prevalent with me. And, but, you know, we're going to tell you if your electric bill is going to be crazy by getting a solar system.
Right.
Do some other things that you can finance through these programs.
Right.
And then once you've reduced, let's put a smaller system in place.
And how many times have we done that where we look and say, a whole house fan with a slightly smaller system is going to give you a bigger bang for the buck?
Absolutely.
We do that all the time. So
all the time.
That's what also differentiates ourselves a lot, because we're just not the solar company. We look at the envelope of the building. We look at every other thing. And that's because of our commercial experience too. You bring it down into the home.
It's the same thing. There's no difference in commercial. The difference is that once you get to GS2, that's when it starts to hurt. That's the demand charge.
That's the pain.
And you know what? I bet you $100, and I've said this, you guys have heard me say this for years. There's going to be a demand charge one day on residential customers. Mark my words.
Well, there's a saying that says, as above, so below. And they test it out a lot of times on the commercial. And if it ever comes to the homeowners, everybody's going to be scrambling to get solar. But let me ask you a question. What's the price going to be then?
It's going to be double, man.
Like right now, we have in California, there's a law that says if it's a new dwelling, it has to have solar.
Yep. A 2.5 kilowatt must be up on the roof.
Yeah. And that gets to be kind of a joke, because, I watch all these home manufacturers putting up 8 panels on a 3,000 square foot home. That's not going to do it. It'll run your washer and dryer. but like, it should be more reasonable.
Turn on your hair dryer and we're done, right?
Exactly right. I'm ironing and drying my hair at the same time. I'm toast. Oh no, I hope I'm not toasting bread too, because that's the toaster. No, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
But it's got to be realistic too. Those homes should have a larger minimum size. We want people to be realistic in the marketplace and not getting taken advantage of. And this ad that I just saw last night just toasted me.
It boiled your blood.
I wanted to meet these guys in person and say, you were misleading the public, and I want to report them from advertising.
You know what else they're missing too is ethics.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Character. And
culturally.
No, ethics.
It doesn't matter.
No, absolutely.
You can apply ethics in any culture. It will work.
Yeah. If you apply it.
Well, my dad's 96. My mom just passed at 94, and they taught me ethics. They taught me my word meant something. My handshake meant something. And you only did things that benefited people. And if you didn't, well, you should lose your word and your name and your money. It's really simple. But ethics, like he said, that's what we have here at our firm. And these guys, they don't have ethics.
I'm sorry. You need to be, again, strapped up against a wall and caned. You need to get flogged if you're jacking with people like that in the house. I don't care how cool you think you are, or I'm a YouTube star. Hey, I'm telling these lies, and all of a sudden you're trapping these people. And, some of these canvassers are just as stupid.
Oh, yeah.
All they do is hi, Mrs. Jones. I'm here to help you save on solar. And by the way, it's absolutely free.
Yeah.
It's a joke, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, call somebody experienced. Let somebody educate you.
Right.
It's funny how they had to kind of resort to that, because they either weren't taught properly the first time, or they're just trying to shortcut it because everything else the time prior to that became stale, right? Everybody's used to somebody coming and knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Everybody's used to talking about solar.
Yeah.
So let's throw a little bit of pizzazz that really doesn't mean anything, or it's double talk, or it's innuendoism.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
And you know what? It all starts with management. I'm so happy you said that word. If you go to a training seminar and they say, just do this, immediately turn around, walk out of the freaking door.
Well, I'll tell you something.
Get out.
Solar City is no longer in existence. It's Tesla.
It wasn't, they had a different name.
Yeah, no, I know. But let me just tell you, when I was there, a couple things that really got under my skin. When they got to the point where, so look, we all know how to qualify a customer. And customers out there, if you're listening to this, you might not know how we qualify you, but that qualification is extremely important to make sure we save you money and we're doing something good for your life, right? And when they got to a certain point where they just said qualifying was if they could fog a mirror. No,
seriously,
who
dude?
said that?
No, this was said
OMG.
in front of a Bakersfield seminar from leaders in that company that said, take a mirror, put it up to their face. If they could fog it, they're a candidate.
Shut the front door.
So this was how desperate it started to get. Okay,
Jesus.
but
Well, I
also
can understand trying to talk to everybody to get the word out, but
Fogging a damn mirror?
that was worth going to the home.
they're basically saying anybody with
If you're
breath,
breath,
approach
if you're
them,
breathing.
which is fine. I understand.
Yeah,
that.
but we also know through our qualification. Look, we look at some things. The first thing I do when I get someone that's interested and they give me an address, I'm looking at their home on satellite. I'm making sure they're facing the right way.
Well,
they don't have
not only
trees
that,
all
you're
over it. I'm
looking
looking at their cost of what they're paying every month and things like that. There's about 7 or 8 key things that if we put together, we could save some money. And you know what? That is more important than you breathing.
Hello?
That means 7.8 billion people on the planet qualify for solar, and they don't. So when I started seeing stuff like that, it just really upset me. And then what I did in the company is I just told the people finding me leads, stop going by whatever they're telling you. Here's my list. And we closed a lot more sales, mainly because we were addressing the people that were going to benefit the most.
It's called integrity, man. You're a good guy.
Yeah. And so, and that's what we do here. That's why I'm here with you guys.
Shaun,
That's what we do here.
Shaun refuses to not have integrity, period.
Well, that's kind of on our wall too, right? We have we have our code of honor that's on the wall.
Code of honor, baby.
And if you can't fit those, you don't deserve to be here.
So this is a YouTube guy, and I saw him too. What was the name of the?
Don't forget
what
the
does it
rhyme.
sound like?
Hold on.
What's it rhyme with?
Yeah, I mean, if it's on
Hold on
YouTube, we need to tell people about it. Seriously, I'm okay with that.
Bun trade. It rhymes with bun trade,
Is that like
which
maybe
sounds like what they're doing.
sun trade or solar trade?
I don't know. There might be a grade in there or something like
Solar
that.
grade.
Or sun or something. I don't
Ding, ding,
know.
ding, 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 ding.
Here's the thing. Donnie Meter Spot. Take a look at this because
my
I'm
God.
sorry. I'm just sorry. It bothers me like the guys.
You want to
that-
say it, don't you?
No, but the thing is that
no.
they got enough information. Trust me from this. But the same guys that go up, or they have the young blonde attractive woman that goes, "Do you have a meter on the side of your house?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of how I get my power.
Somebody went to Fiverr and hired some chick to say that.
No, I'm sorry. And and they're just like, or like, do you know if you have a meter on the side of your house, you qualify? No, every house has a meter. Otherwise, you don't have power. Are your lights on? You have a meter. That does not qualify you. Do you have lights? Do you? You know what I mean?
You're
For
killing
God's
me,
sake,
man.
again, like Shaun said, it's ethics.
The name of that company is called Dumb Grade.
Dumb grade.
And
Oh,
it's-
I like that.
And it rhymes with,
Yeah, they got it.
The thing up in the sky.
But the thing is they're not the
it's
only
3
ones.
letters, starts with an S and ends with an N.
They're not
you
the
can
only.
take it from there.
They're not
Thank
the only
you.
ones, and there's many out there. If you see one of these ads that just says if you have a meter on the side of your house, they're playing to ignorance in the industry. What we want to do, I always said this, and you
Dumb
said
grade.
it too.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't sell as much as we actually just educate.
We'd be rich by now if we kept just banging these guys out of the park like these other guys would.
Yeah, but what we do is we take a look at your information, we gather it, we educate you, and if it makes sense to you, guess who's going to nod their head? Yes, you are. But if it doesn't,
Yeah.
we're going to be the first person that tells you it doesn't yet.
Just remember, reduce
Yeah.
before you produce.
Well, and remember, I had a couple customers I talked about. Like one guy wasn't going to start saving until year 3,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
and he was okay with that.
Yeah.
One guy was an older gentleman, and he's like, I know I'm not going to save, but I have 5 grandchildren here that I want to show grandpa's doing the right thing to be green, and I'm going to start saving, in 3 or 4 years? And I go, yeah. So you know what I did with that customer? You might remember. I asked his daughters and sons to come in, and I did a separate consultation to say he starts saving around year 3. He wants to show his grandkids that he's very green and stuff like that. Are you okay with this? And they said, yeah, we talked to him. But I brought everyone in to make sure he was making the right decision. What companies do that?
You know what that's called, Rob,
Yeah.
right? Disclosure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you bring in the family unit together
make sure they all understand.
so that everybody is on the same page. I mean, that's what you want, right?
Well,
Shaun?
that's ethics, like he said.
You know,
This is
it's ethics.
It's credibility.
It's very, very difficult. So
Yeah.
go to YouTube, look up Dumb Grade, and it's not dumb, and it's the thing that shines on us,
Right.
grade. And we'll just leave it at that. You guys make your own decisions, okay?
And I'm sure if you see any of those videos, you're going to start to get bombarded by YouTube's algorithms to start sending you a bunch of solar type companies.
Yeah.
And if anybody that's telling you could save just
Yeah.
because you have a meter, no.
Yeah. So no good. So thanks, Rob. I really appreciate you bringing
Yeah.
that to the light.
Yeah, well, we just want to help
people
people.
need people need to know about that, right?
Yeah.
So what else is going on out there?
Just working. What else we got on our list?
We got our friends at Solaria, of course. You know, Elliot is amazing.
I'll be talking to him today.
Love that guy. Solaria has been a really good partner for us. Thank goodness their manufacturing is back on target.
I guess you can say that when your demand is that big, it's not exactly a problem.
Yeah, and that other guy
is short term, but it's like if you got that much demand for your product, it's wonderful.
Yeah, and they hired somebody from another company. I think his last company was Something Power.
Right.
Get rid of that flipping guy. But anyways, it is what it is. Solaria is back in the spew of things, and they're a good partner of ours.
With
we love
beautiful
them.
panels, new higher wattage, everything.
Can't get anything better, man.
No.
They work great with Solar Edge and Enphase.
Yeah.
So their DC panel really, really kicks butt.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I peruse around and see things on Instagram, LinkedIn. You get all these. I don't know. I think LinkedIn's turned into a dating site.
I think every site eventually does.
There's so many scams on LinkedIn.
But
I know what? Twitter's becoming that.
I've been hit by 4 of them. But anyways, check this out. It's all about, I hate this word that they say. How are you? Yeah. If I hear that one more time, I'm going to take my computer.
What would you like them to say?
I don't know. Something besides that, man. Like, how about how the F are you? Or something else. You know what I'm saying? All I hear is people saying, how are you? I'm okay. I'm alive. If you see me online, that means I'm good, man. Leave me the hell alone. Right?
I've reached the base requirement of converting oxygen and carbon dioxide or whatever. I'm living.
Chris, you can shut that online thing to hidden or something.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I should.
Or invisible.
And check this out. I am sick and tired. Let's get these marketing thing out of my blood right now.
All right.
These little freaking guys, these cronies that these companies hire from this lead services, that lead services, that buy all the leads from one source,
right?
And they spread them out. They make 150 websites. There are 150 companies. Hey, Bob, I can hook you up. No money out of pocket. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of these. Hey, can you get on a webinar with me?
Yeah.
Shut the hell up, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you anymore. What do I do when they call me?
I'll tell you exactly what you do. You keep answering.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to be on the other end of that phone call with Chris.
But you've heard what I say.
No, I know. But Chris will fish them in. He'll just be like, hook and mouth and just slowly drag them in because he wants to find out more about them and stuff.
But I think it depends on how busy he is. He plays with these guys because he just knows.
I like the ones from India the best.
It's just like I know that.
Would you like to get solar in your house?
But here's the thing too. Here's the thing though. Okay, but that kind of goes back a little bit to what I saw at some of these big companies. You're a homeowner, right? You go ahead to the past days of Solar City and some of these other. I'm sorry, the Sunruns and the Vivint. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. I know people that work with you, and I know
what it is.
I know what it is. I'm not with you guys for a very specific reason. All right, I don't want to sell an older panel because you spent all your money on marketing. But here's the thing: you sit there and you get a guy that comes into your house, right, who should be a professional. I saw guys that never sold in their life before and didn't know anything about solar 2 weeks prior to the moment they were in your house, Chris, as a solar professional.
Shut up. Really?
Every day of the week.
That's crazy. How can they do that?
You know how I know that?
Huh.
They asked me to train some of these guys.
Oh, boy.
And I'd watch these guys, and I swear to God, and I'll tell you, the first time I got into it.
Did you give out badges?
No, I'm going to tell you something. You want to know something? Yeah. You want to know something scary? Okay, so I'm somebody that if I'm going to take on a gig, I'm going to research every waking hour I have. So I'm going to learn everything about an industry. I sold 9 systems in my first 14 days in solar.
That's pretty good.
No, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Oh boy, yeah.
I did because only I did the research, but I wasn't provided the knowledge from the company. They were just like, "Keep going, man, just keep going."
But
I had all these questions.
Put those numbers up on the board, Rob.
But what I did was
doing great.
I did nothing but research. So I knew what I was selling was working. But I didn't get all that education from the company. It took them months to give me what I learned in weeks because when I started going in the industry, I started researching months before. So I knew I was okay. But there's a lot of guys out there, they're just, I'm sorry, they're not professionals, they're not salespeople, and they don't have that integrity, and they understand that they're probably not going to be with the company a year later when that true up comes out.
Yeah,
and that's when the
do people know do people really know what a true up is?
They should.
Shaun?
Yeah, I've encountered so many problems with that because of a salesperson.
You've had to
always came from that expectation.
You
right?
have had to sit there in front of a customer, put some sophisticated Excel file together to show them that what they were sold was a bunch of garbage.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You know,
yeah.
A true up. What it is everybody that doesn't know, first and foremost, when you get a solar system, you're going to have a monthly minimum fee. That's called a connection charge.
Right.
Now, why the utilities did that, it's just unbelievable. First and foremost, if you work at Southern California Edison, you're part of their net metering program, and you instituted that minimal fee, screw you. Number one,
they want to keep you tapped into the
up.
IV in some way.
Well, you know, you're taking a customer away. First, California says got to have 1 million roofs. Thank you, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right. They start doing this stuff, and what does Edison do? Because the wolf is in the chicken house, they now become the authority. They change the rules, and then they add this dumb thing called the connection fee.
Right.
That has really just put a black eye on the industry.
Yes.
Because they can raise that at any time.
Well, they raise it via permission because they lobby for it.
Right? Yeah, these little clowns are called lobbyists for Edison.
All these dollar amounts you see on your bill now is something that was filed for
2 years ago. Yeah, could be 7 years ago.
So, and
they're giving it to them. How do we know that connection fee is not going to be $50 one day?
Well,
seriously?
It's not just $50. It's $50 times
12.
16 million customers
times a monthly.
I mean, they have at least 1 million customers gone solar so far, right?
Well,
that's a lot of money,
likely,
man.
I would presume that's the case.
Does the NEM control that?
I don't know for sure, but somebody.
I think the NEM controls that it can't go over a certain amount. And that's what protects a solar customer going solar. But anybody else, yeah. I mean, I think it
currently
can
we're in NEM 2.0, right, Shaun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't imagine that 3.0 is going to be anything better. They can't wait to shut this program down. And once the program's down, you cannot get a solar system on your house and feed back to the grid because remember, Edison owns the grid. You're done.
Well,
Except for the
everything would be controlled via, for example, how they institute it into new construction.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So
it's just
because you know it's going to come down the pike, though, right? All new construction has to have a minimum solar system. What's coming down the pike,
which is cool. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but you know what the next step's going to be, which I'm fine with. The next step's going to be every house sold is going to have a minimum system requirement.
You know, you're buying or selling. Hey, I'm okay with that. Bring them to us.
So what I keep trying to
you up.
Yeah, but
imagine you want to sell your home and you're forced into doing.
It's going to come down to
either doing renewable energy or not.
And they're at $12 a watt now.
But imagine if
or they start valuing the home at what you could sell it for based on if it's energy efficient.
You know,
what I could just tell you is when those things come down the pike, I got one really simple question for the public. Do you think getting solar is going to be less or more expensive when there's a mandate? It's going to only go up.
It's going to be incredibly expensive.
Right now, when I take a look at, even with the 26% ITC, and I look at what the pricing and what we're doing here at, QHI Quality Home Improvement, and then when I look at businesses, like honestly, guys, if you own a business and you're not looking at the 26% ITC with the 34% MACRS, Modified Accelerated Cash Recovery System, where you get 60 cents back on every dollar, possibly as a write-off, you're not thinking because from a business standpoint, you can only bring more money in or keep more of the money you made. This is the way to do it. So,
there's a name for that.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Well, no, because or uninformed.
Uninformed is
how many times have we been
stretch.
But how many times have we moved someone and all of a sudden they go like this and they sit back in their chair. We've seen it, right?
Yep.
And they start nodding their head and I go, "You just got it, didn't you?" And they're like, "Yeah, why didn't I do this before?"
60%.
Because it was never communicated to you before. Most businesses do not know they can write off 60% of the energy cost to buy their power and that their power will actually be cheaper than going to Edison, who's going to go up whenever they want, as much as they want.
They just have to own the building
Yeah.
And they have to have enough space. And that's cool.
Yeah.
And check this out.
But like 405 to 445 watt panels, I mean, we normally have a lot of space.
You can take that same scenario and apply it to a residential customer. Let me tell you how.
Yeah.
If they have a corporation,
Exactly, and run it.
if they're running a part of their business out of their house, they can use about 25%. I think that's the cap.
Yeah.
So you get 25% plus the 26%.
Yeah.
That's still pretty good. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I've done that with some people who their actual business address is the main home. They run everything out of there. So
You have an LLC or a corporation.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that and depreciating this in your Schedule C,
right.
I don't want to hear you cry.
Well,
But how many solar companies actually advise their clients of all these different things? This is why I take a look at it as like when it comes to businesses, we're not just a solar provider, we're a business partner. Because if I can go ahead and I can cut your overhead, right? Your cost of operation. I've essentially gave your firm a raise. I'm a business consultant. I'm not a solar man.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm a business consultant at that point. Because if all of a sudden I save you 10, 20%, and you just increased your profit margin.
And they tell you, well, you're not a tax professional, so you can't talk about that. Dude,
money in, money out.
Go to DesireUSA.com.
Right. Yeah.
DesireUSA.com. It's in your face. It's right there.
Money in, money out. How much do you have coming in? How much do you have going out?
The IRS tax codes and the form is sitting there.
Right there.
You can look at it as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Go to DesireUSA.com and quit being stupid.
Yeah.
Get it done.
We're trying to save you money. We're trying to help you with it. And as businesses, margins get tighter and tighter to be more and more competitive.
Right.
Well, how about we just, take down some of your cost of operations?
DesireUSA.org.
Oh, is it org?
It's an org,
Oh, sorry, man.
That's right. It is an org.
They got org, biz, company.
I was thinking, too, it doesn't take a high level of, or actually, it doesn't take too many brain cells to bump together to figure out avoided energy costs.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have $500,000 in avoided energy costs over a 25-year period, and you can show that to a customer who is in that bucket,
right,
and go, wow, you mean you're going to spend $40,000 to $70,000 on a commercial system, let's say, for example, that's relatively small,
right,
and then be able to have avoided energy costs of $500,000. I mean,
no, and that's the thing. How many times have
on
we
top of the incentives?
Yeah, how many times have we come across somebody that says, "Well, this is a rather big system, costs $150,000 for my business." So yeah, you're writing 60% off, and by the way, you were going to spend $640,000 over the next so many years
if you don't do it.
If you don't do it,
right.
So
that already paid for the system. Hello.
All you need is a basic calculator in your iPhone to figure that out.
I just did one for a residence, saving $100 a month. Yeah. Times 12 is 1,200 times 25 years, which is the warranty of the system.
Sure.
That's $30,000. Yeah. Plus the ITC of 26%, plus the equity value you add to the house.
Well,
and they go, well, what are you talking about equity value? Well, that's really simple. You take that same $100 bill and you times it by 12, which is $1,200. And according to the National Appraisal Journal, it's $20 for every dollar. Mm-hmm. That's $24,000. So you know what I do? I divide that by 2 because it makes more sense.
You just want to be super conservative.
I want to be conservative.
Absolutely.
So it's $30,000 and the money you're not going to be, spending on energy. You get $12,000 of equity added to the house.
Right.
You get a 26% ITC if you have a tax appetite.
Right.
So what does solar really cost you at the end of the day?
Well, this is technically where it can cost you nothing.
That's the facts right there.
But these guys,
and remember, without any of those incentives, no matter what, if you just came out of pocket and paid cash, your avoided energy costs.
Yeah. And
hello.
And avoided the increases and the ups and everything else that they wish to do, because I personally don't like anybody that can change my bill whenever they want to. But that's technically how solar could be free, in a sense. But these guys that we talked about earlier are not advertising it that way, and that's the problem.
Downgrade those guys. Yeah. Downgrade.
No, so but
downgrade.
Downgrade. Ooh, that's even better. I work for Downgrade Solar. Anyways. I've said my piece.
We do get upset when we see this in the marketplace, because this is our marketplace.
Yeah.
And when people come in and try to mislead people, we get upset.
One more thing I want to bring to the table here, and thanks for bringing that up, guys. It was very important. Did you hear what Tesla did recently? This Musk guy, they were selling all these Tesla glass and everything else, and then they charged them, I think, another $30,000 for a battery backup. They went to all these customers' homes and they go, which way did he go? We have to charge you for that now.
No, they sold them solar, and whether it had battery backup or not, but primarily sold them solar. I think most of Tesla's systems utilize a Powerwall
like
anyways.
$12 a
But let's say they
that.
don't, right?
Yeah.
Basically, okay, so we're raising your contract, which is in our contract. So to placate them, they said, well, we're going to give you extra Powerwalls.
Oh, is that what they said?
To kind of make up.
Oh boy.
Or we're sorry for.
Is this
Well, why
guy?
would you raise it
This
in-
guy's
why-
unbelievable, man.
I don't know, but maybe it's a way to get rid of old product.
Was that the thing you were talking about? You were talking about an ad, Shaun. It just brought, where it was like the $1 billion of panels and stuff like that. Because there's
a bill. Get these. Would you like to have these $1 billion solar panels installed?
But is that the ad that is showing them installing Powerwalls, and they never on that ad, and one of the ads I've seen that says that, they never show a solar panel. They show them putting Powerwalls on the wall. I'm like, yeah, that burgundy Powerwall is not a solar panel. Why are you talking about solar panels and you're showing me putting batteries in? There's just so much
deception, man.
Yeah,
they're just marketers. They're not solar companies. They're marketers. We're a solar company.
Thing. It's just a standard cookie cutter solar company trying to do leases primarily.
Yeah.
And here's another thing: the lease and the power purchase agreement, the PPA that we all know about.
Right.
And these guys, company called something Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way,
they die when the ITC goes away.
Yeah.
And you think they're going to be around anymore? And what was that? Every quarter
Just
they
run away from anyone that has run in the
fire
name.
everybody so their shareholders can see.
No, I've only known 5 of those guys that got fired in the last year. No, seriously. You know what the saying is? And I'm sorry. Can I say it?
Hello.
Can I
Absolutely.
say it?
Of course.
I know a lot of people that actually worked at that Bun Run
Something
company or whatever.
Bun Run? Yeah.
We used to always say in the industry, they promise you the sun and then they run. Because you can never find your salesperson after. Most likely, they didn't care about you once they made the sale, or they were already fired.
I love it.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
The thing with us is we're maybe more of a boutique company. We've been around
Scum
for
Run,
how
whatever the hell they are.
long?
Yeah.
But we love solar and we do it right. And at the end of the day, the right spec system with the right loan behind it or whatever is the best way to go. And all these other guys that are spending all their money on marketing and putting shit product on your roof, I'd rather say we don't even market. We don't spend money for marketing. We put the money in the product on your roof.
Customers would really, really appreciate if they understood reduce before you produce.
Yeah.
I have helped more people out that way than just... I used to be that guy selling a solar system.
Right.
Just go, until you wake up one day and you're smarter than the manager that was supposed to train you.
Right.
You're smarter than the owner of the company that don't know his butt from a hole in the ground.
Do you know who my managers are from?
No.
My managers
Let me guess.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
What?
No, I'm serious.
Hang on a second here.
At one point,
oh my God.
the Roller Pity Company, just keeping with the rhyming scheme here.
Nice.
They hired, I don't know if Enterprise was for the moment going out of business, but every single salesperson and manager came from Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And I kept looking at this guy and he was trying to tell me what to do. And I go, you've never sold solar before, have you? And he goes, well, I come from Enterprise. I said, that doesn't mean jack shit to me. I'm sorry. Can I just
He
be...
meant Enterprise Solar.
Yeah, no.
Or the USS Enterprise, because he wasn't from this planet. That's for sure.
Well, at that point, I saw they were spending $4 for every dollar they earned. So I was getting kind of spunky, and I was moving on. And I already met my wife there, so I just said, unless I'm renting a car, I have nothing to tell you. My numbers are high. I sell the way I sell, and I'm not going to sell something that doesn't make sense. And if you don't like that, you can fire me.
And now go get me a Cadillac for my next appointment.
Right? So I'm in this little Fiesta, and that's all you could do for me. Couldn't Enterprise get some of your old cars and rebrand them?
Wait.
No, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
What people got to understand is these big companies just grab salespeople that have no knowledge about the industry, and they put them in your home, and then guess what they put on them? A ginormous quota that if you don't hit it, you're fired. So guess what they're doing? Selling. If it's good for you or not. We don't have that here. If I sold a system that wasn't good for somebody, what would you do to me? Probably take me out the backside and kick me in the ass.
Sean just finished the cheese grater, the human-sized cheese grater. Probably push you down that.
But you know what I mean, right? We don't sell it unless it makes sense.
Yeah, it's got to make sense.
But in these large companies, it makes dollars and cents, so they don't care that much about. So when I see also, like, I like Costco. I don't like that they basically are endorsing a company in there that doesn't sell the best product.
Well, you know what happens, right? Those companies have to pay, like Home Depot, 15% of the gross receipt to be in their stores.
Can I give you an example?
Yeah, give me an example.
Okay, so right down here in Upland, there's a Home Depot.
Oh, yeah.
I sold out of there. It's the first time I actually met my wife was in that one, just down the street from us, where we are right now. Yeah. Yeah. And I would talk to the manager there. And she goes, "Oh, wow, you're selling a lot this month." I said, "What did I make you?" I said, "I don't know. I think you got $45,000 to the company on the books this month." 45 grand for me to Home Depot.
And they just put their hand out and said, "Thanks for shopping."
Yeah, but that's the whole thing.
That's passed down to the customer, by the way.
Yes, it's passed down to the customer, and we're there because we're paying to be there.
Yeah.
We don't do that at Quality Home Improvement, so you're not paying some upped marketing fee. Most of our marketing really comes from referrals and and some online stuff, but we're not out there spending a fortune. Otherwise, guess what? Our prices would have to be higher. But when I see their price being what it was, and then they got a Chinese product on your roof.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
But you trust.
Sorry.
You trust the name. You trust a brand. Well, I can tell you, I come from branding. I could put a company together today you'll think was around for 20 years and should be trusted. Branding is a facade. You got to really look into what's going on. We've been around since 1990 something.
Yeah.
And you know what the thing is it's just we have our reviews because we do right by our customers, and a lot of big companies can't say that. They have investors that they had to hit certain numbers for in order to stay invested in. Right?
Relevant.
And if they're not relevant, so they at times were selling stuff they shouldn't have just to go ahead and make their numbers look good. And that's when I left the big companies. I'm like, I'm not going to do that for you.
Imagine that.
I'm not going to be part of your illusion, so your investor will stay with you.
So you had problems sleeping at night, maybe?
I do enjoy sleep, and that's a big problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
My father always taught me integrity was everything. And, whatever you tell somebody, you better be right on it.
My phone doesn't ring because somebody sold them a bad system.
Isn't that nice, though?
Yeah, it usually rings because this clown from Bangladesh is trying to push off on me, XYZ solar leads,
right,
or lie about, how much money I'm going to save. And what's with these insurance companies now too? Yeah. We have the warranty on your car. I mean, it's like these pre-recorded.
It's like half of your calls.
It's just like, oh my God.
But you know what I like and what I tell people?
I'm going to start taping them. I'm going to make an archive of insults and I'm going to put it online.
But you know what I tell people? I say, look, we're in the contracting business. We specialize in solar roofs. We do a lot of other things that are energy efficient, right? So in many ways, we're a service business. But guess what? We don't want to be a service business in many ways. Right. What I don't want to, when I say that, I mean, I don't want to be coming here and fixing shit that doesn't work. Guess what we sell?
Yeah.
We sell the stuff that we don't get service calls on.
Well,
so imagine that. I do this inverter with a Solari panel or a Hyundai 405, and guess what? I don't get service calls. There must be something in that product that is quality and works. So guess what I'm going to keep selling? The stuff that doesn't go down.
Something that works.
The sun goes down at night. Your system shouldn't go down just because it was faulty equipment, right? So
and Shaun is a big advocate.
But that's easy, right?
It's easy.
Put quality, as in our name, out there, and guess what? We don't get service calls. We typically get someone saying, "Oh, my neighbor wants to go solar."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Say it, man. Speak up. It is what it is. But anyways, yeah. Quality is good. We're writing notes and passing them around. That's why we're laughing.
Well, because if you do that right, I mean, then, we know the kind of mix of product that doesn't give us trouble.
Yeah. And that's a good thing, right?
And even if it does, it's like the minutia, that little dust mite in the corner of the room of your 100,000 square foot mansion.
Yeah. It's the exception. It's not the rule.
Yeah.
And we handle it. And sometimes if something goes wrong, after all, these are construction projects. But when you see how somebody handles that issue, that also reinforces your belief that you went with the right people. But if we keep putting the quality stuff out there, you're probably going to be working all the time. That's the whole thing. Keep your system up.
Imagine that, right?
Yeah.
Here's one thing I want to mention before we go, guys. And thanks for hanging out today. I really appreciate it. Mm-hmm. There is one thing that needs to be done. Now that you got your solar system in place, clean it every once in a while. Hello? Right. When's the last time you drove around and you saw this house? It looks like it's got cake on it.
Oh, my God. So
it's like disgusting.
Like 3 weeks ago, I was going to my wife's sister's house. They're down in like Corona. And I was going down Archibald.
Okay.
Like below the 60.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's all these homes that a lot facing the west have panels on.
Nice.
And they all have brown roofs. And they all have brown panels.
Brown panels. Oh, my God.
I don't remember. Do we sell brown panels?
No.
And there's dust, there's cows and certain everything. But there was more garbage on that panel that I immediately looked at and said, there's 20-30% right there. And I know a guy that's starting a cleaning business. We can offer it, but I mean,
30% of their entire money they spent up front, and that includes their avoided energy cost. Right. All that's relative.
Right. Well, I was just wondering what collectively all that uncapped energy is.
Think about that.
Wow.
Clean it off, right?
And don't don't do it yourself, because you don't want to use chemicals on them. You want to use a special, formula, and you want to do it right. You want to use a special brush. So I'm gonna shout out to one of my buddies here. Mm-hmm. His name is Ozzie. He owns this company called Mr. Glossy. Right?
Okay.
Mr. Glossy. My buddy works, he works full time somewhere else, and he's kind of becoming an entrepreneur. He spent like, I don't know, $12,000 on all this real sophisticated water purification system that he pulls behind him. So he's using, not harmful water, and it's all purified and stuff like that. And I'm gonna put his number out there, Mr. Glossy. If you want your solar panels to start producing again, give this guy a call. His prices are second to none, man. This guy is really, really good. So his number is going to be 626-756-5979. That's Mr. Glossy.
That's good.
His name is Ozzie. He's one of the best dudes that I know. So if you're a solar company and you're looking for a decent solar panel cleaning guy, call this guy up. Again, it's Mr. Glossy, 626-756-5979.
Well,
I've said my word now.
No, that's really good, because my brother-in-law does power washing and stuff, and he's been thinking on getting in the solar side. But if you also do that with the water, you don't spot. There's a lot of things. It's really smart. And, you can gain up to 30% production.
Or you can get it back.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But when I literally took photos going down the street, I had my wife taking photos because they were as brown as the roof. And I'm like, do these... and they're probably thinking, dude, my solar's not producing as much as it used to. Yeah, no, it didn't have all that shit on it when it was...
And here's the
when we installed it. And it doesn't take that much to get it cleaned, and someone like that could go ahead and take care of it for that.
Exactly. The savings of what he would wash off would pay for the service.
It would pay for the service. Yeah, exactly.
So, hello?
Yeah,
anybody home?
So it's negligible. Just keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's a good shout out.
I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us today.
It was fun. We haven't done one.
Episode 49.
But we haven't done one in a long time.
Really? I thought it was 49 the last time.
No, episode 49 is today.
Wow. All right.
I don't think it's 50 yet, but we're there,
but you say 42821 was episode 49. Maybe we're 50.
We'll figure it out.
Let's call it 50, because that sounds like a really good rounded number. I like that. We made the 50.
We were supposed to do it as
that's true.
I'm going to put it on the internet. Everybody's going to see it. Rob, thanks a million, man. We love you. Appreciate you.
Love you guys too.
And you guys just had your anniversary, right? You and Rita?
Well, yesterday was the anniversary of when I proposed to her. It's not our wedding anniversary. But I was just
good for you, man.
Some flowers, good food.
Shout out to Rita. She's an amazing partner of yours, and
I want to get her
guy.
to do her little podcast. Man, we'll come into the studio and do something.
Why don't you get her into the solar business and start talking Espanol the right way to these guys?
Keep in mind, I mean, I met Rita through
she
solar.
Used to do that, right?
Yeah, she used to do that, and Espanol. She knows the Spanish. I used to take her on all my. And what's really cool is I feel good that she will make sure her culture is getting the right deal, because the saddest thing to me was watching their own people take advantage of them, and that happened in a lot of different cultures. Disgusting, man. But I'd like to get something going again with her. That would be great.
It is what it is. Shaun, thanks for hanging out, man.
No worries.
Thank you, Shaun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, woo. You're a plethora of knowledge, and we appreciate you.
He is.
Anybody wants to get it done technically, anything like that, this is the guy to talk to, Shaun.
Yep.
And just give us a call. That's it, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Everybody,
Alrighty.
thanks for listening to the Energy Hour podcast.
Thank you for listening to The Energy Hour. Visit them on the internet by going to qhiinc.com/TEO. That's qhiinc.com/TEO.
This podcast is brought to you by Aliva Digital Marketing, lead generation and SEO for local businesses. Increase your web presence with their results in advanced strategy, including a video website audit and analysis for free. Listeners of this podcast can get 75% off Aliva's fees. But hurry, only the first 5 businesses that inquire can get this deal. Aliva Digital Marketing, a proud sponsor of this podcast. Online at alivadigital.com.
Solaria. Beauty, efficiency, and power. For nearly 20 years, Solaria has set the pace for solar panel performance, efficiency, reliability, quality, and design. Solaria continues to leverage its patented technology, engineering expertise, and sophisticated automation into creating one of the most attractive, energy-efficient solar panels available on the market today. Redefining home solar. Solaria's high-output solar panels deliver maximum energy production in a streamlined, all-black design that complements your home's architectural style with more than 20% more energy per square meter than traditional solar panels. Solaria's advanced Power XT panels pack maximum power into minimum space for industrial leading efficiency. Enjoy clean, reliable power day in and day out, backed by our 25-year warranty. Solaria is the new benchmark for solar energy. Quality you can trust for your home and business. For more information, go to qhiinc.com/Solaria.
Got your latest electric bill? Is it less than last month or last year? Probably not. But if you had a solar system from QHI, it would be. Your electric meter could be running backwards. Right now, get a QHI system installed for no money down, no out-of-pocket expenses. Get an immediate savings on your electric bill. Call 909-609-5437. Solar is all they do. Call QHI 909-609-5437.